streets are a scorched hellscape. An Abrams tank drifts across the asphalt in a sideways skid, engulfed in flames. Without warning, a clown's foot, massive as a 5-story tenement, slams down, flattening the tank like a discarded tin can. The terrifying clown fills the frame, his pupils dilating as red face paint leaks down his cheeks like fresh blood. A squadron of F-16 jets screams through the smoke, unleashing a synchronized volley of missiles. Explosions ripple across the clown's face, masking him in a shroud of fire and soot. From the heart of the haze, a gargantuan white hand lunges out, snatching a jet midair and crushing it into a sphere of white-hot wreckage. The clown unhinges his jaw, letting out a sonic cackle that shatters every window for miles, a visible shockwave rippling through the air. The earth groans under the weight of a sudden seismic surge. The clown turns to find a shadow eclipsing the sun. Kong descends from the heavens, his primitive stone axe gripped tight, a primal roar tearing from his throat. He charges, his massive shoulders shearing the corners off skyscrapers. His fist connects with the clown's jaw in a spray of teeth and black bile. As the jester staggers, Kong seizes his head for a brutal knee strike, but the clown's arm mutates into a jagged arachnid claw, burying itself in Kong's shoulder. The great ape bellows in fury, his eyes igniting with rage, just as the military's tanks open fire on both titans indiscriminately. Kong snatches a tank and hurls it like a major league fastball. The clown retaliates, a prehensile tongue lashing out to coil around Kong's throat. Kong gasps, his feet churning the earth until the street collapses, dropping him into a subway tunnel. With a roar, he rips a multi-car train from the tracks and swings it like a steel mace. The impact is a symphony of sparks and twisted metal, sending the clown crashing through a residential high-rise, leveling it instantly. From the dust, the clown releases giant red balloons that drift with unnatural speed, exploding into napalm-like blooms on contact. Kong emerges from the inferno, his fur singed but his spirit unbroken, and launches himself into the air. The clown opens his maw, revealing rows of rotating, serrated teeth. Kong catches the jaws, his muscles tearing under the strain of holding them open. Apache, helicopters hover and fire hellfire. Missiles directly into the clown's throat. A muffled detonation rocks his chest as black smoke pours from his nostrils. Kong delivers a Spartan kick to the chest, sending the monster tumbling toward the harbor. The clown skids through thousands of shipping containers, which scatter like Lego bricks. Kong lands in the shallows and uproots a massive boat crane, wielding it like a broadsword. But the clown's eyes go dead white. Obsidian spider legs burst from his spine, shredding the metal cage. The arachnid clown lunges, dragging Kong into the deep. Beneath the waves, the struggle is a slow-motion nightmare. Navy destroyers rain fire, and a missile shatters the clown's leg. Kong wraps a massive ship's anchor chain around the clown's neck, using the weight of a sinking vessel to drag him into the abyss, triggering a localized tsunami. They break the surface in a death grip. Kong smashes a chemical tanker over the clown's head, turning the harbor into a lake of fire. The clown screams with a terrifyingly human voice. Amidst the flames, Kong beats his chest, but the melted clown lunges through the fire, grabbing Kong and slamming him onto the pier with a force that cracks the earth for 100 yards. The clown hurls a shipping container, but Kong rolls clear and sprints back toward the city, the monster skittering after him like a demon insect, crushing a Humvee underfoot. The chase scales the skyscrapers. Kong climbs one glass tower while the clown ascends the opposite, his claws gouging the concrete. They leap, colliding in the void. Kong digs his fingers into a building to halt his freefall, while the clown begins to levitate, surrounded by black balloons, firing orbs of red energy. Kong runs horizontally across the building face, snatches the clown's leg, and they crash through the roof of a penthouse into a whirlwind of luxury furniture and dust. Kong swings a concrete pillar, launching the clown into a high-voltage power grid. The surge causes the clown to mutate, growing until he dwarfs the tallest skyscraper, casting a shadow over the entire city. Kong looks like a flea, but he roars without hesitation as fighter jets snare the Titan with steel cables. Kong scales the monster's body like a mountain. He reaches the summit and drives his thumbs into the clown's left eye. Black ichor erupts. Kong raises his interlocked fists and delivers a skull-shattering double axe handle. The clown's head splits. The giant collapses, dissolving into a storm of red balloons before hitting the pavement. Below, the clown's suit lies empty amidst the wreckage, a single red balloon drifting away. The sun rises behind Kong, silhouetted him as he beats his chest in a final, victorious roar. This island has been a sanctuary. At the very center of this world, the Guardian rested a Titan who had preserved the natural balance for eons. Peace is a fragile thing.
Target acquired.
Human eyes, ever hungry for power, coveted the primal energy that sustained the king. They began to bleed him dry.
Power core stabilized. Initiating sequence Gamma. All personnel stand clear of Bay 7.
Far from the reach of nature, an aberration was forged, a beast of cold iron and surging electricity. It was engineered to be stronger. The blood bond between the king and the earth cannot be hidden. The Guardian felt the shift in the world's soul as the sky bruised with an unnatural energy.
Shut it down! It's not responding!
System override. Target humanity.
The humans thought they had built a servant, but they had birthed a cataclysm. Now, the ancient protector must rise to face the ultimate human sin. In the depths, the king began his hunt. Every footfall made the forest shudder.
We've lost manual override!
Meanwhile, digital commands flickered and died before the awakening will of the machine. It didn't just consume power, it devoured the very essence of the land. A vein of light pulsed between the crystals of the hollow earth and the machine above.
Alpha team approaching containment zone.
The army moved in, foolishly believing tanks could weather a storm. But iron does not strike its master. Weapons turned against their wielders as a frequency-shattering scream tore through the dimensions. The king felt the pain, and that pain forged a white-hot rage. He broke his chains, refusing to be a captive of this new world. The scientists fled the lab.
Structure unstable! Move!
The army moved in, foolishly believing gravity betrayed the
We have lost
soldiers.
traction! I repeat, vehicles are airborne!
Iron floated like feathers as the earth split open, and hell rose to the surface. The war cry echoed, and the king answered. He stepped through the gateway of worlds to meet his fate. The new master of magnetism stood tall, a monolith of power.
Systems are down.
Human weapons were mere scrap metal in his presence. The sky churned, and the storm began. From the heart of the world, the Protector emerged to restore the lost balance. One look was all it took. They both knew the war had begun. The Magnet Master did not fear muscle. He mocked it.
Fall back! It's pulling the armor!
The human armies realized too late that they were out of their depth. Rage knows no patience. The first strike was launched. An invisible force repelled the mountain's charge, and the fist that once shattered boulders hit a wall of pure energy. But the ancient warrior possessed a primal wisdom. Stone does not bow to magnets. With a sudden, crushing blow, the king shattered the machine's aura of arrogance. The enemy shifted its gaze toward the human cities, a buffet of metal and power. The Guardian did not turn his back on the danger. Even when faced with an invincible foe, the city woke to a nightmare, a shadow that swallowed the light.
Weapon systems failing.
Human iron became fuel for the enemy.
Evacuate! Get out of the tanks!
Their own technology turned against them. The king took the high road through the rocky canyons, watching as the destruction neared. Energy attracts energy. The dams groaned under the pressure, and as the beast gorged itself, hell began to overflow. With a thunderous landing, the Guardian blocked the path. Glances were exchanged that defied gravity itself. The battle was far from over. The sky rained iron, and fury descended from the heavens. In the water, every movement became heavy. The king struck back with the weight of a mountain, but the laws of nature had knelt to a new master. Every weapon was turned back on the king. The dams collapsed, and a merciless flood swallowed the world. As the Guardian sank, the demon floated. The solid earth was only a temporary refuge. This enemy was different. Its hunger for power led it straight to the city gates. The humans, unable to wait for miracles, had manufactured their own disaster.
Target locked. Fox 2.
Iron against magnetism was a losing equation from the start. What was built for destruction became the beast's armor. The Guardian arrived to witness the full scale of human hubris. The magic had turned on the magician, and the sky rained fire. Suddenly, the laws of gravity failed. The earth was no longer stable. Everything drifted into the void. The iron didn't melt. It became a new shield for the devil. The king fell into the trap, a prisoner in an invisible cage. The monarch who ruled the earth with his fists was now a feather in a magnetic hurricane. The enemy showed no mercy, exploiting weakness to crush the king's pride. The humans tried to help, but their ignorance only bred more disaster. They thought they were dousing the flames, but they were only pouring oil on the fire. The new surge of energy didn't break the chains. It turned the prison into a guillotine. But pain awakens instinct, and the mind began to outpace the muscle. In a world without gravity, every object became a launch pad. The king transformed himself into a living projectile, shattering the laws of physics. Iron bent before the sheer will to live. But the metallic monster had one last card to play. The Great Fall. The earth does not forgive those who drop from the sky, and gravity demanded its debt in blood and iron. Dust choked the air, hiding both the victor and the vanquished. The enemy was shattered, or so the king believed. But in this modern age, death is just a reboot. The beast was not a body. It was a virus searching for a larger host. The very battlefield became the enemy. There was no escape when the ground you stood on wanted you dead. The true face of destruction finally appeared. A cage of fire and iron. The king fell, and darkness declared its victory. They thought the fire would erase him, but they forgot that kings are forged in the furnace of hell. The smoke cleared, and the body protected by time did not fail. The chains that had melted were now nothing but ash beneath his feet.
Recalibrating.
The machine knew no fear, but it was prone to errors in calculation.
Wind howling through the metal storm.
The earth itself rose at the command of its true master. The king didn't dodge the storm. He tore through it. To kill the dragon, he had to scale the mountain of iron. The walls screamed with electricity. A fall that would shatter bones could not break his will. The war had entered the phase of total annihilation. A strike with the force of a collapsing world fell upon the iron fortress. But the iron was alive. It swallowed the king's strength, attempting to dismantle him from within. There was no more room for tools or technology, only teeth and claws. The city itself became an iron tomb, closing in on the king. Under thousands of tons of metal, the flame of hope seemed to flicker out. But responsibility is a fuel that never runs dry. The king refused to submit. A roar tore through the silence. The metallic giant decided to end the game, exposing its magnetic heart to the heat of the sun. It was victory or extinction, one final leap toward death. The two powers collided, and a deafening silence preceded the great explosion. When the dust settled, only the echo remained. The machine was now nothing but silent scrap, but a living heart still beat amidst the wreckage. Victory wasn't a flag to be raised. It was the simple ability to stand up once more. The king looked at his fallen foe. He didn't see a monster. He saw the ironclad sin of humanity. Below, the humans were small, terrified, and silently grateful. He didn't wait for their thanks. Destiny is a burden, not a job. The city was not his home. His place was where no human foot would ever tread. The danger was gone, and the Guardian vanished into the mist, leaving only a legend behind. They had built a monster for control, but they were saved by a monster of freedom. The story ended, but the king remained.